Hey Capricorn, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for the first week of September. You believe the summer is over? Holy smokes. Welcome to those of you who are new. My name's Jackie, and let's get right into it. I'm going to be pulling messages. I pull every week for all the astrological archetypes. I combine tarot and astrology, numerology, and psychology, and let's see what we get. So the first spread's going to be for everybody, then we'll go into relationships, then we'll go into those of you in separation. Timestamps will be in the description box below, like always, and let's see what we have, Capricorn. I actually want to pull cards, and then I'm going to work in the astrology because, okay, yes, I kind of figured, okay. See, sometimes you get these feelings, and I like to marry it up with the energy of the cards. Look, I mean, you have the sixth. We have a lot going on. We have the new moon in Virgo, not a lot, but we have the new moon in Virgo, and it's going to be trining Uranus and Taurus, and we also have Mercury going into pre-shadow on the 6th. It's not going to be going retrograde until the 27th, but the pre-shadow, we're going to start feeling very sort of introspective. You know, Mercury rules our mind, right? What's on our minds? What are we thinking? And so when it goes retrograde, or even in the pre-shadow, we're starting to go inside to reevaluate, reassess, revisit, reconsider, you know, all of those things, right? So it's going to be that's going to be happening in your 10th house of career, public reputation, your standing in the world, your public image, all of that, right? But we have the new moon with the sun and Mars in Virgo. It's going to be trining that Uranus and Taurus energy. So the new moon with the sun, Mars, Virgo, well, that's going to be happening in your 9th house. Uranus and Taurus is going to be in your 5th house of creativity, of falling in love, love affairs, romance, also your children. So with this trine, you're going to feel very open to the new, but you're also going to be you're definitely going to be embracing a lot of change, right? But you're going to be working to elevate your experience, especially in those houses. The 9th house has to do with travel, philosophy, higher education, law, religion. Hang with me, guys. It's a lot in the 9th house, okay? So I want to give you everything so that you can connect my messages to your life, okay? It has to do with publishing, marketing, advertising, your in-laws, higher education, travel, wisdom, philosophy, your moral code, your moral compass, your religion, your belief system, your learning, your ethics. Okay, so there's a lot going on there in that 9th house. So with that new moon and the sun, there's going to be a lot of focus, a lot of energy, but the Mars is going to be in there. And it's going to be in Virgo, which is all about being very critical. And because it's going to be in a trine with Uranus, which is pushing change, a lot of you are going to be in this space where some of you are going to be very focused on something having to do with your children, something having to do with a creative project, something having to do with the relationship. That's going to be trine, but at the same time, it's going to be in conjunct your 10th house. What does that mean? That means that energy of creativity, falling in love, love affairs, something going on with your kids is going to be in this a very tense energy with your career, public reputation, your standing in the world, right? I'm even going to go a little further to say that 9th house has to do with like your relations in general, right? So while this is really nice as far as like being able to push something out and forward, I do feel like there's going to be some sort of tension having to do with some sort of creative project and your long-term goal. And there's got to be some sort of reevaluating, reassessing, and there's got to be a lot of integrity exercise right now, Capricorn. And I want to say before we even get into the cards, I know a lot of you hate when I talk about the astrology straight out of the gate. Feel free to fast forward a little bit. When you have a new moon with the sun and Mars in your 9th house of truth and integrity, it's ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is always in a very close dance with karma. If you don't exercise integrity during this period, it's going to flip back around and bite you in the ass. So you just want to be careful. What does that even mean? It just means do you, be you, a good person. No shady nonsense, nothing under the table. Be as honest as you could possibly be as a human being. That's all I'm saying, okay? We have the moon here. Now the moon, depending on, I'm going to give you a couple of different interpretations of it. If it has to do with a relationship, the moon indicates confusion and disappointment and feeling like somebody let you down. any kind of relationship. So there's going to be a lack of trust that a relationship is actually going to be able to work out at the end of the day, and that pushes you to make a decision. Okay, now if this has to do with a career or money situation, you might achieve a goal, right? Something you had your mind set on, but ultimately feel like it wasn't even really worth the effort. Emotions run high, right? You might be dealing with bucking of the heads, right? Because we have that Mars energy in there, right? In that 9th house, there might be some, coming up against some opposition with colleagues. You might need to protect yourself from others' negativity. Even though money matters can be stable, you want more satisfaction to just the paycheck. You want more satisfaction just saying that you did something. And because we have that the Uranus and Taurus also in that fifth house, you're going to be very prompted to making sure that you're doing things your way, right? Because what is the 5th house? It's the home of Leo, and Leo wants to do things Leo's way, right? It's a very me-based energy, and so it's that kind of thing, right? Very having to do with any sort of creative projects, anything like that, having to do with work. It could also have to do with your belief system really sort of dancing around this idea of your creativity, a relationship, or your children. But what I do see is whatever's happening here, right, with this disappointment, this like, it wasn't really worth it, is prompting this new path for you, which is the Sun in Aries, and in the Three of Wands energy is the Sun in Aries energy. So, and this is one of the good fortune cards. So this has to do with like thriving business, very busy, intense period. This is, for some of you, this can be an indicator for a really important relationship, a really important wedding. So the relationship could be intimate or could be work. It doesn't really matter. But this is you moving on to realize your plans. You might even be dealing with very unconventional people or in a very unconventional situation as you're trying to roll something out. So if this has to do with relationship, you might be meeting somebody who's really, really different than anybody that you've ever gone with before, or you having a situation in the relationship that's very different. Maybe they're living abroad, or maybe, whatever it is. It's something that's different for you. But this could also be maybe you're doing something totally different and unique in as far as like for career or money as well. Something very, very different. But whatever it is, it's going to bring you a lot of contentment, right? This is this Mars and Pisces energy. So Mars is that warrior energy. It's about moving forward, fresh path, new perspective. And Pisces is about your dreams. It's about you moving forward on this new path in a way that is meant to, in some way or another, satisfy your dreams. Something that you've been really wanting to do. This is nothing less than perfect. It really is it's beautiful. This is an excellent energy for family, for partnerships. Something that you've been working really hard on, finally coming together in all areas, right? Really good communication, business, family, romance, all of that stuff. And that's being clarified by the Queen of Pentacles, which is about, for some of you, marriage. For others of you, money coming to those of you who are already coupled. This is good financial management. This is fertility. Fertility meaning for pregnancy, but also for growing something like a business or a life together, right? And this is taking care of your body, mind, your spirit, your finances, all of that. So it's like something wasn't working. There was some sort of disappointment. You go in a different direction and it ends up being really, really good. Now, we have also clarifying this moon energy, though. We have the Six of Pentacles. So we have this energy of disappointment is also being clarified by this idea, Moon and Taurus, this idea of family. So there might be some sort of, and again, also, this makes sense to me because we have the new moon, the sun, and Mars in Virgo in that 9th house, which is also a family house, right? It's in-laws, it's relations, right? It's relations. So it could be some sort of situation going on like that. It could have to do with property. It could have to do with this idea of generosity and support. I have your back, you have mine, right? Is everybody showing up with their big boy and their big girl pants on? Is everybody being solid? Is everybody functioning in their integrity, right? And that's like something that's just going to keep sort of coming up, not only for you, but for the people that you're dealing with, right? Clarifying that is the Four of Wands. This is a very nice energy, Venus in Aries. Again, a new Aries energy is always just very like fresh path, new perspective, right? It's emperor, it's an emperor energy. It's Mars energy, right? And Venus has to do with love, it has to do with money, and it has to do with self-esteem. So there's a lot of like, it's almost like an energy of freedom because you're able to exercise your creativity, something that's going to help establish a strong foundation in your life. This is a success that you're going to experience after completing something. So for example, maybe you've been really working very hard on a book and you're launching it, or you've been working really hard at creating a firm foundation in that relationship, and you guys are leveling up. Maybe you're buying a home together, you're getting married. We also call this the honeymoon card. Something like that, but where you're appreciated, which is really nice. If this only has to do with relationships, some of you may be meeting a new partner who will open up their heart and express their feelings for you. Very nice idea. Great energy for, again, creativity, projects flourishing. We have that Uranus and Taurus in that 5th house. Really, really nice. But again, you may be in a space, my friend, where you might have to compromise, only because we have that quincunx with your 10th house, with Mercury retrograde, with Venus in Libra. So there's going to be this fairness. Let me go back to the drawing board. Let me see, is this good, right? So something straight out of the gate might not go exactly the way you think it should. Doesn't mean it's all lost at all. It just means that it might not be rolling out exactly the way you initially thought. And you're going to be stepping back and saying, all right, I need to think about this. Let me think about this. Let me get a different perspective. And let me figure out a better strategy for moving forward in that situation. And maybe I really need to sit down. But the 2 of us, or the 3 of the group of us, whatever it is, depending on the situation, we need to sit down and have a really good talk in this 2 of Cups energy, right? Venus in Cancer is a very mutually supportive energy. It really is, whether it's relationships or even a very good conversation at work having to do with how things are going to roll out, scheduling, time, who's getting paid what, that kind of thing in relationship. This could be a positive proposal coming in. You want to get married, you want to go out, you want to have a baby, you want to get a house, buy a house, whatever. If things are difficult in any way, harmony can return after this. So apply it however you want, correct? Because not everybody's in a relationship, not everybody's working. So, it's that kind of mutual nurturing kind of energy, which is nice. But following still along the line with this moon, we have the moon, we have this idea of family. There might be this sort of situation going on where you might be in this space of, this is never going to work out because my family member is doing this, this, and this, or this person I'm in relationship is doing this, this, and this. And it's almost a feeling of disillusionment. And it's almost a feeling of apathy, like I just don't even care anymore. You know what? It's the same old, right? Whatever. Or it could be, is this project ever going to launch for me? Am I ever going to be in that right relationship? Am I ever going to fill in the blank, good about whatever? And this always means, though, you do need to look at yourself, right? There's this need to heal some sort of past unhealed issue that is rearing its head. And the thing is this, with the moon in Cancer energy, which is the 4 of Cups, it can be so subtle that we don't even recognize it. But it's the kind of thing when we sit down and we're really honest with ourselves, we're like, oh yeah, okay. The reason that's not working out, or the reason it's hitting me a little funny is because I'm still feeling X, Y, and Z. Or maybe I'm feeling a little vulnerable, I'm feeling a little insecure, I'm feeling a little restless, I'm feeling whatever it is, right? But we have this 3 of Wands working with the 4 of Wands. So wherever you're going, it is going to help establish a firm foundation. And then we have the beautiful 8 of Wands, Mercury and Sag. Good news coming in. Lots of busy communication. This is really good. If you've been waiting on anything, if you felt held back, waiting for a decision, anything like that, it's a really nice energy for growth coming in. For those of you resonating with this as a relationship, this is really nice, particularly if you have been in separation. As this is a quick energy, think about it, like the wands go up really, really high so that they can go down very firmly in the ground, and it could be like a firmer foundation. So I love getting the 8 of Wands is twice the 4 of Wands, right? So I really like the progression here for sure. So, coming back to this 10 of Cups, all about happiness, but you're needing to reconsider a strategy regarding some sort of situation you're in, whether it has to do with business, money, family, or intimacy. But you're going to be in this space of negotiating. And always with the 2 of Coins, there is a need for negotiating, but you have to do it intelligently, meaning, how do we decide? A lot of times we get so caught up in the weeds, right, Capricorn? We get so caught up in the weeds of things that typically in life, generally speaking, answers are quite easy. It's a yes or no. It is. But then we get caught up in all the weeds. But if this, then that, and that, then this, and what if this, and then they don't do that, and then that. A lot of times if it's like, well, this relationship is bad because this, and this situation is not going to be successful because of this, and I just don't feel comfortable because, well, if those things are going on and you don't think you can live with it, then get rid of it. Then don't be in that situation anymore. You know what I mean? That's where we get caught up in the weeds. Because it's not so black and white, right? A lot of it is gray. But when we have the Two of Pentacle energy, it's about recognizing what the options are. What are your choices? You know, because here you're figuring out different strategies, right? And here you need to make a decision. Because here you're thinking about different strategies. Here it's like down to a couple of things. Which path is going to give you, I'm not even going to say the path of least resistance, because sometimes it doesn't give us exactly what it is that we need. But which, if you, in the long run, which would you feel the greatest sense of lack? Which would you feel the greatest sense of disappointment? Which do you think would have the longest reaching ramifications in the long term that might not end up serving you, right? And taking that path and that lack, right? And putting that down and picking the other one. Whittle it down to that. It really is as easy as that, because then you're able to have the Page of Cups energy, which is a personification of water. This is a really good energy having to do with an emotional aspect of your life, and whatever that is, that relationship, having to do with money, a family situation, something fun, something creative project, something like that. This could indicate some of you meeting a new person, intimate partner, a new business partner, getting offered a new job. Remember, the Page is the young of the court, so whatever it is, it's kind of new, but it could be a new cycle. It's not like an Ace energy where it's brand spanking new, so it could be a new cycle. So it's like in an area that you've kind of like been in it already, but there's going to be some sort of new offer or something like that, but it's going to end up being like a very, very nice energy for you here. Okay, so lots of messages there. Hope that was helpful in some way. Now let's get into relationship for our Capricorn friends. So we'll do a Celtic cross spread. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. You guys ever get your nails done and like totally hate the color right after you get it done? Like, geez, I gotta live with it for 2 weeks. Am I the only one? I'm looking down at my nails. I'm like, oh, geez, I really don't like that color. I'm thinking fall. I'm going back to work. I'm going to see my students. Let's get a fall color. It's like, okay, what's better in the book? All right. Okay. Got some. Time to look at the imbalance in a relationship, that's for sure. Okay, so coming into this energy, we got the Four of Swords again. So, you know, coming into this time period here, you were in a space of maybe taking a time out. Not physically, like you could still be living with your partner or whatever the case is, right? Capricorn, you're all different ages and stages out there. But this could just be you stepping back, even if just emotionally, mentally, and just trying to figure out a better strategy for, you know, to actually employ in your relationship so that you're happier, a different strategy, right? Because you want to be happy. That's a Jupiter in Libra, in Leo energy. And Jupiter expands whatever it's in. And what is Leo? Leo's all about romance, falling in love, love affairs. It's friendship too. It has to do with friendship and being really, really solid. And if that's not the case, this is definitely something that you're looking at. Yeah, because right now, Capricorn, I'm getting that you're feeling very restless, very disillusioned, wondering if for a lot of you, you're going to be in this space where, you know, is this ever going to feel better than it is right now kind of thing? And that could be a little bit of a challenging energy. You know, the advice always with this is not Jackie talking, this is the Four of Cups energy, is to just understand that you do need to look at something within yourself, again, that needs to be looked at. That, you know, are you looking for your partner or a partner, even you might be single, or a partner, to fill any sort of hole in your soul, to fill any sort of gap, any sort of fill this space that that you feel needs filling. So look at that space and ask yourself what that's about. You know, is it something that you could fill yourself, so that when you fill it for yourself, then you're just with your partner because you just simply want companionship. Do you know what I mean? So it could certainly be that kind of thing for many of you. For others of you, guys, this could just mean you guys need some spice in your life. Need a little romance, a little fun in that part of town. I hear some of you are like, oh, please, you know. Just saying, right? That is another interpretation of the cards. challenge, though, is Page of Wands. So you really want to express yourself. Capricorn, I'm feeling like you feel very held back in your relationship. Very held back. This is very fiery. This is new. Some of you may be attracted to somebody new, somebody, even though it's a page, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be somebody young. Could be, doesn't mean that. It just is new to you, right? Some of you are in the space of just wanting to try something else out, wanting to be single, wanting to do something like that. A lot of you are going to be in that space. Also, for some of you, you may be in a relationship where the person's a good person, otherwise you wouldn't be with them at all, right? Obviously. Maybe you've grown apart, whatever the situation is, right? But I do feel like there is somebody who can offer you a lot of solid relationship energy. Let's just say that. But it's not really what you're looking for, but it still appeals to you in theory, not it. That's so cold. They still appeal to you in theory. The idea of the relationship still appeals to you in theory, right? But it does seem like there is this energy of really wanting to bust out, and that really, I'm feeling very strongly like there's this want to sort of escape. Now, this could be you, this could be your partner, right? If you're feeling like, maybe you're like, what is going on with my partner? Why are they acting sort of like immature all of a sudden, or, anything like that. We have another page energy here, though, as the basis of the situation, the Page of Wands. And the basis of the situation is putting in a lot of hard work, being very reliable, right, in the relationship. Now, this could also mean, though, that because this is the personification of Earth, this could be you working really, really hard and being very, very reliable in your job, and you ignoring, going back to the Four Cups energy, you ignoring your relationship, or them ignoring the relationship. Right? Relationship reads, it could always be very enmeshed. But it could be that the relationship is not getting the energy and the attention that it really needs. Could be that. But there is this need to work harder on the relationship. And right now we have the present situation is the beautiful Six of Wands, which is really nice. I mean, this is all about feelings being shared, well received, really positive communication, leading to a deepening of connection. But Capricorn, I feel like on the slide, I'm whispering like somebody's going to hear me. I feel like on the underneath, whatever you guys are communicating about, you're feeling this sense of disillusionment and disappointment. And you're trying to figure out a way of making the relationship work a little better, or figuring something else out. I feel like there's an energy of feeling very underwhelmed here. Now, the suggested approach that needs to be looked at is the Devil energy. So, really looking at this very honestly, is somebody controlling in the relationship? Is somebody cheating? Is somebody wanting to cheat? Are there codependent patterns? Does somebody have an addiction? Are there narcissistic tendencies? Does somebody have a really hard time regulating their personality? Is there, somebody in the relationship that just really not willing to look at themselves in any kind of honest way? All of those interpretations would create a shackling kind of situation. That's all the Devil is. You know what I mean? And that needs to be looked at. Remember, the Devil energy in numerology is the Lover's card, which is Gemini. And the Lover's card means we have a choice here. We're either going to abandon the relationship, or we're going to be on the same page and work at this together. And if we work at it together with the blessing of Archangel Raphael and the energy of the Sun, we're going to be able to fix this. But we have to be in it together. But the thing is, you're not in it together if there's this imbalance, right? Because there's too much of an imbalance. So that needs to be looked at, okay? Now, the person that you're dealing with, we have the Seven of Cups. So you may be dealing with somebody who actually, in your mind, subjectively, you feel has commitment issue. Somebody may be, or if they're fine, they want to commit to you, they're in this space where they're not sure what's real, what's not in the relationship. They're confused. They might be dealing with choices. They feel like they're at the beginning stages of a new cycle with you. Where is it going? I'm not sure. Now, they might be vibing a change in you, or you might be vibing the change in them, which is creating this energy of disillusionment. and apathy. You're like, geez, they're not going to show up in the way that I really need them to. So it almost seems like you guys are like not on the same page. But you challenge here, the Six of Swords is cutting the tie, moving away, detaching is your challenge. Taking that space to do a little bit of internal work. You're having a hard time here, right? And so that ends up creating some stagnancy in the relationship. And that's something that would need to be looked at, because this is in your internal psychology. In the near future, we have the King of Wands energy. So the King of Wands is, being a free spirit, that Cancer and Leo energy. And this is really you very much wanting to go in and just express yourself and just spit it out, right? Just say exactly what you want. But you can't allow the idea of perfectionism to play too heavy a role in this situation. And it's just something to be mindful of. You don't have to be perfect, because I feel like some of you are like feeling that way. Like, oh, I'm not good enough, or they're making me feel like a little less than, and I'm really not okay with this. Or you looking for somebody else to be perfect, right? Everybody brings everything that they need to the table. Everybody's perfect the way they are, but it just ends up being a matter of, is this the right thing and for you guys to be in together right now? Now, I'm going to have to pull more cards, because now the final energy is the Three of Wands, which is the Sun and Aries energy, which is about marriage, important relationship, moving on, realizing plans. But this is literally turning your back on the past. We're right. We don't even see his face. He's focused on the sun. He's focused on his passion and his motivation to move forward. Very forward thinking, fresh path, new perspective. Ace of Swords, though, getting over past obstacles, getting what you want. Thoughts becoming things. Ten of Pentacles, focusing on the family, deepening of commitment, shared values, sharing everything. Another ace, guys. Wow, very nice. This is very auspicious for happiness and contentment and stability, right? More than anything. You're at least shown how to get it. Now, the stability could, if money was an issue, the Ace of Pentacles could also mean some sort of new opportunity coming in that's going to help you with money. Then we have the Two of Swords, though. And the Two of Swords tells me that you're going to be in an emotional stalemate. Very interesting, because I always think that, and this is just me, but whenever I see the Two of Swords energy, I always automatically think in conjunct. In astrology, those of you who know astrology know what I'm talking about. An in conjunct means it's two energies that are 5 houses away from each other, and it's this kind of energy where you can't think your way out of it. If you procrastinate, the problem's still going to be there when you go back to it, except it's going to be bigger. It's that kind of thing, right? So you need to make a decision. You need to do something. You want to protect yourself, but the situation's not going away. So you have to resolve it now. Stand your ground, say what you think, but a decision is needed here, having to do with the relationship. We have a lot of new stuff here. We have the Ten of Pentacles sandwiched in between two aces. So there was definitely a very strong attempt to have this improvement. And it's almost like once it gets to that point, you're like, wait a minute, I'm not sure how I feel about this. We have the Magician, right? Magician is straight up Mercury, which rules Gemini and Virgo. So having a conversation where there's a lot of empathy and a deepening of understanding so that you guys can problem solve together. Very nice energy. The Knight of Cups, really good. Proposal is coming in. So this could be, let's go to therapy, let's go to counseling, let's get married, let's have a baby, let's do something to fix this. Energy, beautiful. And then it's wish fulfillment. There's nothing to be mad out of here. So it's very interesting, because it seems like we're going in a way where it's like having a hard time detaching from something, needing to look at the imbalance. But I have to say, this Three of Wands, I'm sort of, it's not going away, so I have to just talk about it. This idea of something that's unconventional is really very strong for me here. Now, I want to swoop back around, and I want to just give another interpretation, because the energy, I am being called to do that. But let's just stick with those of you who, you're in the relationship, you're feeling underwhelmed, they're confused, they don't know what you have, whatever. There's confusion here, okay? So let's turn our back on the past. Let's try something. Let's try a different strategy. Something very unconventional. So you guys might be deciding, to change up the style of relationship that you have. Maybe you guys are living together, maybe you decide to live apart or something like that, right? Whatever that would mean to you. But that being like a pretty good initially, but then you end up being confused. But then you guys have this conversation through deepening of understanding, and then it ends up being a lot more of what it is that you're looking for. Now, others of you, I have to call it what it is as well. The Three of Wands could be you being called forth by another energy, turning your back on the past completely altogether. We have two aces with the Ten of Pentacles in the middle. This can indicate a very solid new connection, but that person that you're with is still in your energy field, which is why you have this emotional stalemate with the Two of Swords. The Magician energy is really about very alchemical energy, right? And it has to do with communicating and problem solving. But with this new energy, this Knight of Cups energy could certainly be a new person coming in, somebody who seems really amazing. If somebody's too perfect, though, just make sure they walk that talk. That's all I could say. But it's like this new energy is going to be everything that you've been looking for. Just make sure they walk that talk. That I always say that with the Knight of Cups. So those are the two different interpretations that I'm getting. So some of you are going to be sort of reconstructing your relationship, trying a different strategy, and it's going to go really well. Others of you are going to be turning your back on the relationship, meeting somebody else, and you're going to end up having this wish fulfillment. Why do I feel like that was a complicated reading? I mean, I just got several different energies in that. Anyway, moving on to our separated friends. Those of you in separation. Separation. So we'll pull some of these. We'll pull some Island Time Wellness, Homemade Oracles, and I'll see if I need to pull some tarot for clarifying. Oh, wow. I feel like this is like not a new this is not a new not in communication kind of thing is what I'm feeling here, but they're still in your energy. Not new. I'm resisting my desire for you because it's too late now. We've grown apart and you moved on. And that's being clarified by the Snake. Competition. Enemy, clever, malicious, looking over your shoulder. The other woman, the other man. Okay, yeah. So some of you may have been dealing... Now, look, these energies, by the way, this could be you towards them towards you, you guys towards each other, but... how it goes with relationship read. But I'm resisting my desire here for you because it's too late. So again, this is not like a new thing. Then we have this idea of snake energy, but clarifying that, I love you, but I'm afraid to lose my freedom and I don't know how to balance this. I knew you were right, but couldn't admit it to myself or you, is being clarified by Hand of Cards. Taking a chance, risk, being strategic options, as you've been in my dreams. All right, so somebody's definitely still thinking about you. I'm trying to move on, but thoughts of you still linger and I can't control them. Love call, someone expresses love. So somebody's reaching out to somebody, them towards you, you towards them. Our connection still affects me. I still feel you on my soul. And I feel like I abandoned you and myself when we broke up. I want to reconcile. Then we have Hammer. Sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistently working on it. Cycle, cycle, cycle. I don't know if I could ever be exactly who you expect me to be. So I feel like this is the kind of situation where it's like you break up, some time, get back together, everything's great, then it's not, and then it goes back. Oh, so hard, right? So hard. But at the end of the day, I feel like you're dealing with somebody who's very, very vulnerable. And they really don't, they could be brilliant, incredibly successful. But I don't feel like they're very emotionally intelligent in that they have I don't feel like they have a very clear picture of themselves emotionally. I love you, but I'm afraid to lose my freedom. I don't know how to balance this. I mean, this is somebody who doesn't understand a healthy relationship. This is somebody who thinks that if you're in a relationship, so this person was probably raised around a lot of dependency, where there was no real autonomy, right? And people who have that kind of situation going on in their childhood or their earlier life, they have a very hard time figuring out who exactly they're supposed to be in relationship. So it's very difficult to really get to know their soul. Okay. Well, it does look like somebody wants to come in and have this conversation. I mean, the Two of Cups energy, harmony returning, you know, after a conversation about who needs to do what here, right? The Two of Cups always hits me as a conversation, right? You've been in my dreams, Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment, guys. Wish fulfillment. Wishes manifesting. Jupiter and Pisces. Oh, all the old tension dissolves into the waters of the past in the Pisces energy. Two of Pentacles, though. Back to this, negotiating. Needing to make that decision regarding more than one path. You have to figure out, am I better with this person or not? Only you know that. And then we have the Knight of Wands. Events speeding up, blocks being lifted. Forward movement. Scorpio and Sagittarius, there is sex involved, I will tell you that, because Scorpio's here, but there's also a lot of honesty involved because Sagittarius is involved. Sagittarius is very much about integrity and honesty. So this is what we have going on for you, my friends. Those of you in separation, this is the weather. Jump in, don't jump in. It's totally up to you. This is for the archetype of Capricorn. I don't know you or what else is in your chart to give you a personal reading, but so don't try to make it fit if it's not your reading. All right, my friends, thanks so much for hanging with me. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.